So the first update in the roadmap has dropped today, but as with any update for any game, it did fix things, also break a couple things, but nothing too offensive. For now, what I can tell is it's affecting audio in-game. So what you're seeing in the footage actually isn't anything on my end as far as the recording goes. It's actually in the game itself. But they did add a little cool neat feature here that's coming up right now. And what you just heard is the new audio cue, a little alarm to let us know that there's a horde incoming. I'm going to let this section play out because you're also going to see and hear audio cutting out, as well as the animations and for melee kind of getting a bit screwy. As far as I know, these are the only issues so far with the update. So as you can see, it's not too bad. It's not breaking the game, not making it unplayable. Although with the blocking mechanics and the parrying, because of how it seems like there's a latency thing going on, but it's immediate when I hit the parry button. So it's kind of coming down to just whatever the update did to the animations. And you can also see that the enemies are kind of having that same issue with attacking, which kind of brings it back to making it a little bit difficult to parry. Otherwise, this is all I can see so far as what they'll have to fix in a quick patch. Now to go off what else they added as far as the three main items, which was the sparring arena, think Overwatch's open lobby, the PvE lobbies, and the ultra wide support. They also did improved responsiveness and comfort of social wheel control with the mouse. I'm guessing that there was some issues with the mouse. I'm mostly playing this game on controller. They did increase the charged attack for the power fist, so it does more damage. I can't really say anything else on it. I've never used the power fist before. The heavy plasma, which is the one used by the heavy, base ammo increased by 5, blast damage radius increased, overheat per shoot drastically decreased from 50 to 30, for charge shots from 20 to 15 for base shooting, base damage slightly increased by 10%. One really big change they did was for the med stims, and now if you still have remaining contested health before it expires when using a med stim, not only will you get a portion of your health back, but you also get back your contested health. They did change the bots for the campaign, so various inhibiting restrictions were lifted, allowing bots to be more helpful and effective while still not beating the game for the player. Bots will now focus firing zone thropes when the player attacks them. Heavily eased restrictions on bots finishing off enemies instead of leaving them open for the player to reduce annoyance. Bots are now allowed to help with gargoyle objectives. That's going to be a good one. Fixed a variety of bugs related to bots getting stuck. I've never seen a bot get stuck. Fixed a bug where bots can run out of ammo on weapons without a magazine. I didn't even know that was a thing. Operations was tweaked. They did tweak a lot on the chaos side of things, specifically Rubric Marines with bolt guns on the arena, at the same time reduced from 8 to 5. Rubric Marines with warp flamers on the arena, at the same time reduced from 4 to 3. They also reduced the cultist snipers. Those are the really annoying ones to deal with when you're trying to deal with the chaos horde. At the same time reduced from 10 to 3, so that's going to be a huge one right there. Might make chaos easier to fight on harder difficulties. For PvP, it's a really small tweak. They did improve the player spawn system, should make spawn killing more difficult. That's going to be a good thing. The biggest one is they reworked Vanguard's grapnel launcher in PvP, so instead of a full stun, which is the moment you're hit with the grapnel, it stuns you up until you're hit by the kick, which is another stun. It will now stagger an enemy and will slow him down drastically. So we'll have to see how that works. Also seems like they've made adjustments to the way enemies take away your armor segments. So it looks like regarding Hormagaun's and Zangors, melee damage now deals a specific amount of damage instead of removing one complete armor segment per attack. That's going to be a big way to help reduce the amount of times you have to make a stun and do a gun strike just to keep your armor up in some of those hordes, because they do get a little bit crazy. The zoanthropes have been changed, so now they increase the psychic scream damage, sparsing time from 0.5 seconds to 2 seconds to prevent one-shot damage. Psychic Scream damage reduced from 11 to 8, Psychic Scream effective range reduced from 50 to 40, and Psychic Scream cast range is reduced by 10 meters. My major takeaway from fighting zoanthropes is when they're trying to use their psychic blasts, a lot of times that stream, when you get hit by it, it's a pretty long stun, and sometimes you can't recover from it fast enough to try and dodge it, and a lot of times you'll just get hit from a follow-up attack, and that's the really annoying thing about fighting zoanthropes. For the Carnifex, the Rage Fades has been updated. Carnifex becomes faster and more aggressive. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. Taunt frequency reduced and fixed a bug where his Cone of Thorns attack wouldn't fire projectiles. And then the Hive Tyrant, it feels like they buffed it. Oh, but they also nerfed it, so the health has been slightly increased. Resistance to explosive and melta weapons increased by 20%. So I'm not sure how I feel about that one, but I don't use the melta gun, so I'm not sure. And by the way, I'm actually not going over the entire patch update, I'm just glossing over what has caught my eye, and this final one is the customization. So now you can overwrite an existing heraldry slot instead of having to manually change all the colors and emblems to a new heraldry scheme, which was very annoying to do. But now, if you want a Black Templar, but you have 4 slots and none of them are Black Templars, you can just choose that slot and just overwrite it. Always make sure that you have the right slot equipped, because that's the one that you'll be overwriting. They also fixed issues with many of the default colors being wrong on some chapters. If you go back to my previous video where I talk about lore bits, my Black Templar, whom you see here as well, had a more light goldish helmet, which was part of the Iron Warriors colors, but it was fixed to show the appropriate color, so now it's a silver finish. It kind of bummed because it looked really good. The silver, I don't mind. It still looks a bit good on the Black Templar. That about wraps it up. I just wanted to point out what's going on with the update. Just visual and some animation issues. Otherwise, the update isn't too bad. Besides that, game is still playable, so nothing is gonna hamper your ability to play and enjoy the game. Not like a Call of Duty patch where everything and anything has to break for no reason at all. So just get back in there, have some fun, and do what you gotta do. Okay, that's it for me. Until next time, guys.